from north to south as our ecological section, our historical section, and our play section. So our ecological section comes straight off of the beach, cutting through 59, and coming into the park. So right at the front, you have a condition where you can go down to the water's edge, but that is really about building habitat. You're kind of going from this very busy roadscape up into a very natural area, and so making sure that those plants are really tough and ready to handle being on an edge, and acting as a transition point into this larger, primarily ecological space. Within here, we have, you can see where the water line is on here. On a daily basis, or on a weekly basis at a regular high tide, the seawater would come about up to the mouth of where this opens up. At a king tide, it'll come farther up into about here where this section is taken. We've designed this park for a potentially 100-year storm surge situation with sea level rise, to make sure that it can accommodate all of the water that would be coming into the park. So there is a lot of space for the water as it currently stands, but with increased flows from the forest, hopefully, as well as sea level rise and larger storm events, we wanted to make sure that there was space for that to be a part of the park and not have it overwhelm. Moving into our history section, this section is dominated by incredibly dense plantings, as well as raised boardwalks. We wanted to elevate people off of the ground plane to honor the ground as something that's really important and something that has been obviously very heavily disturbed. It's a really well-used play space right now, but thinking about the importance of the ground we're standing on was very important to us, as well as just letting the habitat kind of do its thing and heal without having foot traffic on it, similar to the strategies that the forest is using. So most of this experience for people is above the ground plane rather than interacting with the landscape itself. And then we're moving back to the back end of the park. This is by the school, so we wanted to really include play in that. Obviously, there are two playgrounds on the park site right now. There's Whaletail Park up in the corner, and there's the school playground down towards the back. We are proposing to move the whaletail and the boat that everyone loves towards the back and include that in our play space. It's a really great complement to what we're talking about with the water coming through. And we wanted to think about raising play up above to really just make sure that it's a space that can stay dry and people can use it whenever they want to. So this is primarily grassy, kind of what you would think of as regular kind of playscape area, with a lot of the play happening up on this platform, which creates just kind of like a more fun, unique play experience. This is also where we're building out our larger canopy because it's farther away from the brackish water. So we'll be able to get some larger growth trees in here and really use it as a connection between the park itself and the forest that is directly behind it.
And Maisie kind of started to touch on this, but this is a good graphic to look at just in terms of sort of the context of what that tidal flooding looks like within the park. This is just our park topography, and then it's highlighting at your current high tide how far water from the sound would be coming in, and then at a king tide how far the water would be coming in, as well as king tide plus storm surge. And then you can look at that, how that looks in 100 years. So then you have this model rendering of what a 100-year flood might look like within the park, how much water actually would end up being on site. It's quite a bit. So. Okay, thank you.